sounds like this. I don't know if you can even hear that. It's basically just a kind of white noise kind of sound, and then it's got some overdrive, some reverb, and a decapitator on it. With the decapitator is just a distortion, and then some filtering, EQ'd and compressed, and then some delays added on the ends. So it gives it quite a weird kind of sound, really, and just adds some interest really to the beginning of the mix for the build up. The first minute and a half, by the way, is just for the DJ to mix in, but you don't want it too boring and monotonous. You want at least something going on in there. Just when it's coming to the breakdown, there's a sound which sounds like that, and that's just basically a white noise kind of sound with no plugins in. It sounds like this. And then some of the low ends taken out, some overdrives added, some reverb and some compression, which just basically gives it a wider sound in the mix, and it also just makes it sound a bit bigger. There's also this sound, which is a drum fill, and all the plugins have been taken off of this. I've actually disabled some of the EQ and compression because I have actually mixed this again in Logic, so some of them have been turned off to be used again, or to be used in Logic. I think I've probably mainly done that. So moving on to the synth sounds, some of them are samples, some of them are actual synths I've used. So at the beginning there's this sound, and this is a sample from Guru, which sounds like this, and it's got EQ, reverb on it, so it would sound like this normally, and then it's been EQ'd and compressed, which actually on its own doesn't sound as good, but in the mix it's a lot better because you've taken out all the low frequencies, and then reverb's added as well. So one of the main hooks of the song was a sample which sounded like this, and then some delay, reverb and filtering is added to it. Now unfortunately I don't have the how it was made, I just have the audio for it, but I can tell you what I did is, if you go into Guru and you find a sound you like, for example this sound, and then you can go into the graphics, you can edit the pitch in a graph form, so you can move it up and down and make the sound you want. I'll show you if I just do a little thing here. And that's basically how I made that sound. The only problem is when you export that MIDI into Ableton, it doesn't pick up the pitch changes. So what you have to do is bounce that down as audio and then use it as audio. So that's how I made that sound. And then on it is just some reverb and filtering. So the euphoric sounds in the breakdown, for example this was made using the Minimoog plugin, which looks like this, and I basically played around with it. I used presets and then normally tweak the presets until I found a sound I like. So without any plugins, it sounds like this. And then it's got the PSP Vintage Warmer on it, some echo or delay, some compression and EQ. That's what I've done now. You can see I've taken out some of the low frequencies, boosted the higher frequencies, and then reverb, and then I've used filtering as an effect. So I'll bring these on one at a time. You can hear. And that's how I ended up with that sound. As well as that, I've also got this sound playing, which was made using the Ace plugin, or the Ace synth, which looks like this, and that has some quite nice piano sounds, but they don't sound too real, because I didn't want a real piano sound, but I wanted something quite housey kind of piano sound, and that this works quite nicely. So again, it's got a few plugins in, so if I take the plugins off, it sounds like this. And then it's got some EQ and compression, some delay, and some filtering. I tend to automate my filtering quite a bit, so you can see here. You can see it coming in more there. This is what the MIDI notes look like, which I played on myself. It's quite a simple chord structure there, and then I have that as well. And these are just little stabs with a lot of delay on, which gives it that kind of sound that keeps on going. And then the only other sound really in the breakdown is this sound here. I think it's got the same chord structure, the last piece I showed you, and it's using the Ace synth again. And here's what I've used. I've actually just created this sound myself. I haven't used any presets for this. And this is what it sounds like without anything on. And then the delay, and then it's EQ'd. So in the whole track together, it sounds like this. So that's basically how I designed